Hey, I'm Rek'Sai. Like some Viktor content, some mid-lane content? Consider subscribing, maybe even hitting that like button. It'll help me up a lot. And if you do, you'll get blue buff. Viktor Challenger. The only rule, I can only play Viktor. Unless it's banned, then we're playing Orianna. No Viktor jungle, no Viktor support, maybe Viktor Bali, and that's about it.
Hello friends, welcome back to another Viktor 2 Challenger gameplay. Today I have a pretty special one for you. I'm against I believe I checked this mastery points, a 1,000,000 point RE and a 1,000,000.5 Master E. This is around Diamond 1 Elo. I was in it for a pretty interesting game. I think my record with Master E's and REs, particularly with Master E's, hasn't been that good, so I was really hesitant to even let this game through. But nevertheless, I didn't really have much time, so I really needed the game in. So I decided to say, hey, you know, whatever, I'll just go with this game. I'm feeling really confident. I'm feeling really good. So again, we get straight into laning phase. As you can see, I warded top side because my bot side's already warded. I don't really want to have Mastery Cheese level 2 on me, or we could flash Charm. And the game plan has always been to push in my lane. I opted to start with E this time. And again, once again, I'm just pushing the lane in because I don't really want RE to push it into me. If RE pushes into me, then they might be able to look a Master E and RE roam on my side lanes this early and get a early snowball going on for them. And we definitely don't want that going on. So early on, I'm just trying to push it in as much as I can. I have wards on both my river sides, so I'm feeling pretty safe. I know this matchup with Graves against E, most of the time I think they're just trying to farm full clear of each other, so I'm feeling pretty safe about myself. And again, there's no way that Mastery can cheese me as I have both wards on my side. And once again, remember, like, the reason why we want to push in the minions is because once we push in the minions, it's so much easier to harass the enemy even under turret, even with just a few minions, mainly because that if they try to trade with us, some of our minions will definitely be attacking them. And those little minions, the early on auto attacks from minions really do count, every one of them. So it's really important to have these kind of small leads as Viktor, as a champion who can't really go for any agencies on killing the enemy champion or getting leads by killing the enemy champion here. Here you can see I'm hugging top side because that's where my Graves is. Had the Mastery come to mid lane, I would definitely retreat towards top side. Now you can see the wards are slowly disappearing and I'm not looking to harass as much. I'm just trying to get the wave in as soon as I can because I don't really want Mastery to come out of nowhere and gank me. I'm walking towards top side, and some of you might think that, well, Mastery could be top side, and there he is. But the reason I'm walking towards top side is because Graves is also there. So in the case where if Mastery was slightly late to the scuttle, me and Graves could have definitely tried to hold the scuttle crap into our favor. Unfortunately, Yi did get the smite into Q one shot on the top scuttle crab, but it's fine off because I believe Graves is able to get the bottom side scuttle crab even though our bot lane has no prio. Again, this is a Diamond 1 game. It's still not that standard yet. I know it's weird, but you know, we can only focus on ourselves. And so far, the laning phase is going pretty well. We know that Yi started from bot side, so it's very likely that he will probably base and go to his crooks. I think this is a really bad play from Graves, but maybe Graves is thinking that, hey, maybe Mastery hasn't really fully cleared his top side. He hasn't really done his Grom because he came out with 24 CS, and perhaps he's having a late recall here. So here am I again. We're still gonna be focusing on pushing on the wave, mainly because again we don't want RV to push it back in, and we just want it to be in as much as we can, just so we can focus on harassing them when we have more minions. And also the fact that we want to force RV to use her Q on the wave. If she does use it on us when we're pushing, we can definitely take the trade against her because we have the extra minions to help us punish the trade against her. Here you can see that Mastery is trying to gank top side. Gragas gets the kill on the Trundle. Here, I vividly remember that I tried to base, and I'm pretty sure I got the base off because Ari tried to go secure the Gragas kill, but unfortunately, I don't think the enemy was able to get the Gragas here. Gragas gets a really cheeky recall. Really, really great from them because this achieves two things. So one, Gragas doesn't die, so that's great. Two, I get a free recall. You can see that I'm gonna skip a bit here, but you can see that I come back to almost losing no mini XP. I lose one, but that's in the grand scheme of things, that's really fine because now I get to have the tempo to come back in lane first. What I mean by that is I'm able to come back to lane and dictate how the wave is going to be. You can see that this is a cannon wave, and the first thing I do is I don't really try to push the wave, but first thing I try to get is I try to secure vision just so I make sure that no one is trying to cheese me when RE comes back. I don't try. Remember, when this is a cannon wave, we don't really want to push it in as soon as we can because we can use this cannon wave against their own and basically have the cannon wave kill our minions first before pushing it in completely. I almost missed that cannon, I'm not gonna lie. I canceled my auto there. I'm just too good at canceling autos. Here, this is a really crucial part. You can see that I have Lost Chapter and RE doesn't have Lost Chapter. I guess that's also the third thing we have to remember, that if we are able to get a free base with Lost Chapter and they can't get Lost Chapter, this is already a really big advantage for us. The fact that we have Lost Chapter means that we can constantly push our mana lead, meaning that we can use our abilities more recklessly for harass, for pushing, and the enemy can't do the same. If this is the case, especially against mage versus mage matchups, I guess in the case of RE, it's not that much because I don't think RE really uses that much mana, but because RE still goes for Lost Chapter, we can definitely work on attacking her mana. You can see like at this point, RE is already struggling. She's at half mana. I'm at half mana too, but as I get this minion, I believe I'm going to level up. Yep, I'm going to level up, and then my mana goes back up to about 75%. What this means is that when the next wave comes, if I just continue to do this repeatedly, eventually RE will run out of mana and she cannot stay in lane, meaning she will eventually have to get a bad recall, which will make her lose at least a wave. You can see this shortly after as I continue to push in this wave, continue to pressure here. Thresh tries to get a little cheesy gank here. I didn't think this was gonna work. RE, worst case scenario, RE is just gonna have to burn. Oh, best case scenario, he hits and then RE burns out. I don't think much is gonna be here. I think this was actually a pretty bad kind of gank because Thresh actually took some of my cannon EXP. It's not that big of a deal. It's just it's those small things that, like, if I'm able to get a level 8 earlier than the RE, it's definitely much better. Here, this is a really important trade. I'm walking up to her to force her to try to trade with me because I know eventually she's not going to have enough mana to stay in lane, even if I lose a bit of health. And even if I lose a bit of health, I know I have a bit of I have health pots to recover my my health back. So it's not a big deal even if I walk up to try to trade with health, as I know I'll definitely have more mana than her. So you can see that RE is already struggling really hard to try to stay in lane. She's at about 30% mana here. I'm at 50%, but I'm gonna level up in about 2 waves. So that will give me back mana. You can see here, at this point, I'm not really hard shoving the wave. I'm still trying to maintain a push as much as I can, but I'm not really completely just mindlessly shoving in the wave. The reason being so is because I can tell that at this point, RE is getting really desperate as she wants to just base to get a kind of a pseudo bad recall. She's trying to base on a cannon wave. I try to see if she's trying to base on a under a turret. If I can stop her, I will. The reason so is because if I do stop her, I can get this wave pushed in, and again, she will lose this whole cannon wave, and the wave will be pushing back towards me. A little skirmish in bot lane. I believe Samira gets the triple kill here, but the main focus here is, again, RE is getting desperate here. I have about half a tank of mana. She is losing. In fact, she's 0 mana right now. She can't really stay in this lane any longer. Right now, this is the spot where I'm like, okay, if we see this situation in your games, we have to be able to recognize that, okay, at this point, RE can't really retaliate onto us, and this is what you should be doing if this happens in your games. Look at where I am. I am under 2 of her turrets. Now, of course, this is granted the fact that I know that Mastery is dead. That's why I'm able to do this. If I didn't know where the jungler is, or if the jungler is not seen on the map, definitely this is a much riskier play. I pot a pop here because I thought that RE might panic to try to engage on me. Who knows? I'm not sure what she's thinking. But at this point, I've already made her loss about 1.5 wave. I know I'm pretty ahead. I'm about to hit level 9 on the next wave. She just hit 8. That means that we have a really solid EXP lead on towards her. So right now she's completely completely out of health. She definitely has to get a recall here. I'm full on health. I'm about to hit level 9, which means that I'm about to get a bit of more mana as well. Now, here's the important part. I definitely could have just based right here, call it a day, get my Ludens, and come back to lane to punish this RE even more. But look at where my Graves is heading towards to. I see that my Graves is going towards Herald. So at this point, my thought process was, okay, I'm going to speed this out a bit so you guys can actually follow. So I stay to get one more plating, but I also stay because I know that Herald is being started. And I felt like I could probably stay a bit. I'm not going to commit into a fight. I'm just trying to scare the Mastery off. Because if the point where Mastery does try to contest, at least I'm there to kind of, quote-unquote, provide pressure. Here, Mastery, here Graves try to push it in. I'm afraid that Mastery and RV might get a pick on us. And if they get a pick on us, they get resets and they'll kill both of us. That's why I just tried to have a safety recall just to get my items here. As you can see, I'm coming back to lane with this amount of lead with Eludens and free boots. You can see that RV tried to go for a top roam, but really this is just a bad mistake from her, as I'm able to just collect this mid turret here, which gives me about, I didn't get the last bleeding here, but it gave me about 250 gold in addition to bot lane getting their turret. At this point, the game is pretty much over, and we're using this small little leads that stack up into bigger leads to snowball, and eventually, as you can see, my items, it's a big skip, but you can see that I got really hit just from laning plays alone. Of course, like, that's how you snowball as Viktor. Again, we can't really get kills on Viktor, so we have to find other ways to get a hit as Viktor. And one of those things are definitely having good recalls, having good wave management. Just to summarize into 2 points, first you have to recognize what our goal is in lane. For this game, it's definitely trying to push in the wave and having Lost Chapter as our first base. The second goal here is really pay attention to what's happening on the side lanes. It doesn't have to be too much, but obviously, you know, sometimes recognizing small little plays can definitely help you advance the game or snowball you as much as this game like I did. I hope you guys learned something here, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.